You're being emotional. You're not gonna do anything. He's like cold and stuff. What are you? Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Classroom of the Elite, Season 4, Episode 12, After Vengeance. And last episode, Shinohara and her teammates were attacked. Well, she was fine, but the other two had to drop out. And it seemed like Amasawa was behind it. I'm not sure, but I think that's who I saw. Um, Nanase, oh my goodness. I think that's who I saw Nanase running after. I don't think there was much happening after that, but I'm thinking with the title of this episode being as the Vengeance, and then when I saw the thumbnail, it was Ayanokoji and Nanase facing each other. I'm wondering if she's gonna reveal why she's after Ayanokoji to Ayanokoji. I don't know. We'll see. So that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to everything else that I've reacted to so far and the full lengths, you can check them out on Patreon at patreon.com/feelmini and consider supporting me there. And now let's start this episode. And here we go. Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review. I'm forgetting. The first years had something at the end of the episode. The first years meaning Tsubaki and meaning Tsubaki. Names Tsubaki Utomiya and why am I forgetting your name? Whatever. You all know what I'm talking about. Yagami. Hiding, 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 hiding. Yep.
やはりバレていましたか。私が山越えを希望したのは先輩をこの場所に導くためでした。
Okay.
先輩はこの学校でたくさんの友達を作り、この学校にいるべき人じゃありません。その理由を聞かせてもらおうか。
Suppose.
あなたがホワイトルームの人間だからです。ここで私が先輩を負傷させ、アラートを。
Huh?
つまり、ここでの敗北はイコール退学という。
Are they about to fight?
私への暴力行為はどのみち喧嘩両成敗で退学ですよ。そうかもな。まず一発。慌てて反撃せずとも私を倒せると。これで2発が反撃しなければ勝ち目はありません。反撃しても勝ち目はないんだろう。そうですね。答えが出るといいですね。一応言っておくと、これで3発目だ。ぶつけずに私の心を折るつもりですか。確かに普通に戦ってもかなう相手ではなさそうです。
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
では勝てないでしょうね。お前は誰だ。僕はあなたを止めるためにあの場所からここにも戻ってきたんだ。僕は七瀬じゃない。
Okay.
今ここに立っているのは松尾栄一郎だ。
Who the heck is that?
あなたの父親に殺された男の息子ですよ。この体は借り物です。
What?
借り物。面白い冗談だな。
Damn! You're being emotional. You're not gonna do anything. He's like cold and stuff. What are you?
話せ。お前は多重人格でもなければ、別人格が乗り移ったわけでもない。単純に心の中でもう一つの人格を強引に作り出したに過ぎない。違う。僕は松尾だ。それが本当だとしたら、動揺する必要はないはずだ。いや、お前は信じてすらいない。どうしてあと少しなのに。
And there he goes breaking her down.
程度の実力では死ぬまで繰り返しても俺に命中することはない。
Ah, yeah, Koji. So after vengeance, what happens? And that vengeance didn't even go anywhere.
七瀬さんは綾小路先輩を暴力沙汰に巻き込んで反撃させ、退学に追い込むつもりです。撮影の役目を櫛田先輩にお願いしたいと思っています。はあ？なんで私が？
Because I know of your past.
そんな現場を見たなら止めに入るべきだと疑われるかもしれません。しかし櫛田先輩はか弱い。やってくれますね、櫛田先輩。やるしかないでしょ。
So she recorded it?
お忘れなく。
Amasawa?
静かにしなきゃ、櫛田先輩。
Kushida senpai? What are y'all doing?
たまたま通りかかったら、こそこそしてる櫛田先輩を見かけたの。
Were you?
そう、ちょっと一人で散歩。
Both of you dropped the act. Ay, ay, ay.
どういうこと？天沢さん、何を言ってるの？
Girl, drop the act.
いつまでその仮面をかぶり続けられるか。やめて。やめない。自分が何をしてるか分かってるの？一発ぐらいグーで殴ったら意味がわかるかな。
Hmm.
ごめんね。まだ猫かぶるんだ。櫛田先輩のこと、私ね、よく知ってるよ。隠し通そうとしている中学時代の闇。どうしてその秘密を知ってるの？綾小路先輩に聞いた？私が特別な存在だから、何もかもお見通しなんだよ。あんたは一体何なのよ！私は綾小路先輩を救いに来ただけ。はあ、先輩が気づかないわけないじゃない。あんたには関係ないでしょ。だって綾小路先輩は私にとって特別な人なん。好きじゃなくて愛してる？もっともっとそれ以上の。
I idolize him.
ってことでさ、素直に山を降りて戻りなよ。冗談じゃないよね。話しません。あんた絶対普通じゃない。マウント取りたくて他人の秘密を握ることに躍起になってる。そのくせマウントを取られるのが大嫌いなもんだから。
私は絶対負けない。何があっても最後まで諦めない。
でも今私にもてあそばれてるじゃない。女の櫛田先輩だけど、その精神力には感心したよ。私に怯えることより憎しみが派生してる。やめなよ。じゃあね。なら綾小路先輩だけど、先輩をどうにかするのは私を倒すのと同じくらい難しいことだし、綾小路先輩が退学することになるかも。
だったらその後はあんたを潰す。必ずあんたを潰す。
櫛田先輩。
Was her hair that way?
やっぱり壊れたのか？
危険は承知だよ。でも上位陣に追いつくには一点だって無駄にできないと思うんだ。何やってるんだろうな私。やることなすこと握手って感じ。
どうも教員側にこちらを監視す
理事長代理と柴先生。
それと2年 D クラス担任の茶柱が全履歴を探ってました。
I was wondering if he knows that they're
確実に彼を追い込まなければなりませんね。
ですがそう簡単に退学させられるでしょうか。相手はホワイトルーム。
のび太なら予定通りアイニエリアで葬り去ることにしましょう。
huh. Oh my god.
お前は確か2年 C クラスの一ノ瀬穂波、即刻退場してもらうことにしよう。
少々気が早いですね、柴先生。
私は
Oh, yeah, yes, you did. They know you did.
記憶がなくなるまで痛めつけてリタイアしていただきましょうか。などと、もし誰かに他言したら2年 C クラス生徒からなるグループを一つリタイアさせることにしましょう。この先に進んだところです。言ってください。
させてくれないか。どうして俺を狙ったのか。
私は松尾栄一郎君の敵が打ちたくて目指すべき憧れの人でした。ですが彼の父親が綾小路先輩を
Oh.
一郎君はどこまでも前を向いて諦めないって笑ってくれていたのに、
会えなくなったら思いを伝えることは二度とできなくなる。
彼の人生がねじ曲がってしまったわけを教わり、浩二先輩を退学させられたなら先輩のお父さんにお会いさせてもらう約束でした。悪いのは先輩じゃありません。次長代理の指示を遂行できなかった私はもうここに残る意味もありません。
俺がこの学校にとどまり続けることは、あの男、父親に対する唯一の攻撃だと考えているからだ。月城に退学させられてしまったら、俺を逃がしてくれた松尾の気持ちにも背くことになってしまう。手を貸してもらえるか。
約束します。
だが異なる点もある。あの男は役立たずの愚者に手を差し伸べることは絶対にない。使い捨てる形になろうとも、役立たせるようにうまく使うことが寛容だ。
I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't know, I'm surprised. I think it's because it seemed like he was getting some humanity or whatever, like he was being human in the moment, and then he comes out of nowhere with the useless fool. I'm reminded of, he just has no, I'm about to say no emotion, but I don't know. He just sees people as tools. And I'm just reminded of that in that moment. Because it's like, you don't see like that, the talk of someone being a tool or being useless or what a useless fool or whatever. You don't see those kind of things come out of him often. So you forget a little bit because it seems like what he's doing is coming from a human place, empathizing place, truthful place. I don't know, something from somewhere deep inside of him, and he's saying that, and then it's like nah, it's not that. It's all calculations, and she being a useful tool to him. And it's like, maybe you cannot forget this, you know. Wow, this episode was a lot. It was a lot. Let's talk about Nanase and Ayanokoji first, because that's what the title of this episode was basically about. It was about Nanase and him and why she's after him. And she's like, okay, I brought you here because I'm going to injure you or whatever and get you expelled. When she said that, I'm like, no, you're not. Okay. And then they started fighting. And each time, Anukuchi is like, okay, one hit, second hit, third hit. Like everything she's doing was not reaching him at all. And then she's like, the way I am right now, I can't do anything. But now I'm Matsuo, whatever. And then her fighting intensified, I guess. She was going even harder than she was, as Nanase. And then now as Matsuo, she was being even more forceful and everything. But even with her being forceful, it's like, no, you're not reaching him at all. And she's acting like she's being possessed by this person called Matsuo, and she's now not herself. And I'm just like, no, it's still you. You're just auto-suggesting yourself as, you're just acting basically like this other person is inside of you, and you're forcing yourself to fight even harder. It's not like you have double personalities or anything like that. And she was just broken, And I'm like, yeah, there goes Ayanokoji being the therapist and psychoanalyst and whatnot, and breaking people down to sort of like build them back up, like he did with Hirata, that one episode, or with Karuizawa as well. So she talked about exactly why she was after him, and it's because Masuo was the son of the person that helped Ayanokoji escape. And because they did that, they sort of became enemies of Ayanokoji's father in the White Room. And things were not going well for them. But even with things not going well for them, Masuo is like, I will never give up. And then she comes in there and then she sees him dead. And it's like, if Masuo was really being truthful about not giving up, then that means that somebody else killed him and made it look like a suicide. Or it actually was suicide. I'm not totally sure. But either way, she was, I think deep down herself, in her soul, she knows that Ayanokoji is not responsible. That is his father's doing, right? That he's the one that she should be going after. And he said that Tsukishiro approached her when she was in that desperate state, angered state, and told him exactly what happened to Masuo. And then that's why she came to the school and tried to get Ayanokoji expelled. But Ayanokoji's like, actually, if you wanna. And at first she's like, okay, I'm gonna leave the school because clearly I didn't accomplish my goal and whatnot, and it's a way for me to atone. But Ayanokoji's like, not really, because what happened to Matsuo and his father was his father's doing, and that with her being there and keeping him in the school is a way to get back at Ayanokoji's father. And then he's like, okay, can you help me basically stay here? She's like, okay. And then Ayanokoji's internal monologue. There's a fundamental difference between me and my father. He's someone that will not extend a hand to a useless fool. And he is someone that will do that, especially if the useless fool can be cannon fodder, basically. And I'm reminded of Ayanokoji being who he is. You know, I think I was being fooled for a second with, I guess his relationship with Karuizawa, and thinking that, he's actually developing feelings, because when I posted my reaction to that episode where they kissed, and the thumbnail is like, was that kiss real or calculated? And someone commented and said that it was real, and that in the novel he even said that he wished the kiss had lasted longer or something or other like that. So I'm like, okay, so he's actually developing feelings for her. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking, I guess. And then I guess that sort of like made me believe that he's changing. He's not even though we know that he is incredibly smart, and an incredible fighter and whatnot. Like, I guess I was assuming in my mind that his relationship with Karuizawa and the fact that it looks like it's real, that is changing him, and that he's not seeing people as tools anymore, even though he can use people to whatever. And then there he goes calling her a useless fool, and I'm like, okay, I guess nothing changed there. And then I was saying, at the end of the last episode, we saw the first tears. Let me see if I can remember the names. Tsubaki, Otomiya, and Yagami, right? Otomiya was like choke holding basically Yagami, and was asking him to tell them about what he was planning with Kushida. And he's like, okay, I'll tell you. And then this episode, you see this flashback where Yagami is talking to Kushida, and was telling him that Nanase is traveling with Ayanokoji, and she's planning on getting them to fight, getting Ayanokoji to beat him up. And then he wanted her to record this, and then so that they can show it to the teachers and then get Ayanokoji expelled through that or something or other like that. And then she asked him, okay, why am I the one doing it and not you? And he's like, well, if I do it, I'm a boy. If I do it, they'll be like, why didn't you intervene? But you're a girl, so you're frail, and it's gonna be, believable or something or other like that. And as I was watching that scene play out, I've said it since the very beginning that I felt like Yagami was the bathroom spy, right? And then some point later, I was like, is it Amasawa? So it's like those two are my top for being who the White Room spy is, right? But in this episode, I'm kind of leaning more toward Yagami than Amasawa, and I'll talk about that later. So as I was watching that scene, it just felt like someone that's manipulating Kushida into doing what they want, And my suspicion of Yagami being the restroom spy was even being more confirmed to me during that flashback. And then you see Kushida running after, trying to get to where Ayanokoji is in order to film this fight that was supposed to happen. But then there goes Amasawa, showing up and stopping her and beating her up. Like, as she was like, she slapped him once, and Kushida was just still being her, why are you doing this to me? I'm this frail little girl, whatever. And then she slapped him again. And it was like, are you still gonna keep pretending to be this little flower? And she's like, okay, maybe I need to like catch my fist and give you like a real punch or something or other like that. And then that's when she reacted. She basically dropped her facade. And Amasawa just revealed to her that she knows her secret. And you can clearly tell that Kushida is thinking, okay, maybe Ayanokoji told her. It's like, no, Ayanokoji didn't tell me anything. And I'm not going to tell you who told me. I think she said something about that she knows stuff or whatever. She can discern things. She didn't reveal how she knew her situation. But then again, if you think about Tsukishiro giving information about all the students in the class, in the school, and whatnot, that could be how she knew about Kushida's story, I guess. But it could also be from something else or someone else. And the way she was speaking this episode, it felt like someone that idolizes Ayanokoji, that doesn't want to see him expelled, that's trying to help him, but in a creepy way. It felt like someone, when you have someone that you admire, but your admiration turns into some kind of distorted thing, that's how it felt like when it came to Amasawa and the way she was talking about Ayanokoji and whatnot. That's why I was thinking that I'm less leaning, less speak. That's why I'm thinking that me believing that Amasawa might be the white room spy is sort of like diminished a little bit with her conversation with Kushida and the way she was speaking about Ayanokoji. She didn't. Well, I think at one point she said something about she's there to save Ayanokoji. And I'm like, okay, save Ayanokoji could be that he's supposed to be in the white room and not here with these students at this school. And her version of saving him is getting him expelled so that he can go back to being in the white room. But I don't think that's what it was. I think she actually wants to help him stay at the school, but she's acting like she doesn't in front of other people. Like she's actually on Ayanokoji's side of things, but she's just like pretending when it comes to the other first years that she's on their side, That's what I'm thinking. That's what that conversation meant to me. It felt to me that she's actually on his side. She doesn't want to see him expelled. She has this enormous admiration for, she said she loved him, but it was even far beyond that. That's what I'm saying. Like she sees him, she has him on this pedestal, I think. And so anyone that wants to hurt him, she's not gonna let that happen. That's what I'm thinking, And maybe that's why she let it slip to Ayanokoji that Hosen was gonna try to hurt him or something or other with the knife and stuff, She acted like she was on Hosen's side and wanted to help him, get rid of Ayanokoji. But then while all of that was happening, she let it slip to Ayanokoji that, okay, Hosen's coming after you with the knife and everything, so protect yourself, I think that's what's going on. Although I can't be totally sure, of course. That's why I'm more leaning toward Yagami being the white room spy than Amasawa during this episode. I think it gave me more of a clearer vision, I guess, of what's happening there. Ichinose. I saw Ichinose and I'm like, wait, her hair looks longer than it normally is, And her thing is that the bracelet that they have, that they're supposed to wear like all the time, and in case they're in distress, it's going to be sending out some kind of signal. it broke. It's not working. So she's like, okay, I need to go and get it replaced. And I'm like, I feel like something's gonna happen. And something did happen. She came upon Tsukishiro and this other teacher. She's calling him Shiba Sensei. She came upon them talking about how Chabashira and the other teacher Mashima, that they were digging into keeping an eye on him for Ayanokoji, and that Chabashira was looking into, I think, Tsukishiro and that teacher Shiba history or something or other. Maybe that's what Ayanokoji asked Chabashira to do during the previous episode. And these guys knew that. And I asked myself during last episode, during the previous episode, that does Tsukishiro know that these people are keeping an eye on him? And clearly he knows. And then they're talking about it, and then they mentioned the fact that even if what they're trying to do over there with the student to get him expelled, even if like at the end of this island he was still there, that they were gonna bury him in area I2 or something. And then they talked about the White Room, that he's from the White Room, and Shino said, like, the White Room? Like, what is that? I don't think she knows who they're talking about, but she knows that this conversation is and then Tsukishiro turns around and sees her, and then she started running, and then Shiba is there, and it's like, I'm gonna kill you. And Tsukishiro came there and then stopped him, and he's like at first that maybe I will torture you until you forget or something or other like that. But then he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that, but what I'm gonna do is, if you were to talk about this to anybody, I'm gonna get the group from your class to be expelled. And you know that Ichinose is all about protecting her classmates. So I don't think she's gonna be saying anything to anybody. And she just ran away. Well, they let her go, basically, and she ran. Bruh, this episode was Let me go back to Amasawa and Kushida for a second. As Amasawa was confronting Kushida and everything, Kushida was like, okay, now I'm gonna get you a spell too. And then she was about to pick up some kind of rock and do something. And Amasawa was like, nah, you don't do that. It's not gonna work, And then she turns around, was about to leave. And there goes Kushida about to attack her from behind. And she just like, what? What the heck? And he told, when Kushida said that she was gonna get her a spell too, she's like, you don't have a chance of that. So that means you basically have no chance when it comes to getting Ayanokoji expelled. But then as she was leaving, she told him, you may still get your wish and Ayanokoji may still be expelled. And then she's like, okay, I'll just wait until he's expelled and then I'm gonna get you expelled. I'm like, okay, girl, think whatever you want. You're not gonna get anywhere. These people are above, like they are way above your level, and it's like you're just gonna be struggling for nothing. Just go quietly and follow your studies and get out of the school and whatever. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, the link is going to be in the pinned comment, so you can just click on it and you can watch it right now. And you can also catch up with all my previous Classroom of the Elite reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. There's some wave playing on the top two. Those charts, one check, girl, I got you. Bougie like 90 in the styrofoam, squeaking in.